Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the We Too All Liberia Movement platform. You're a distinct and dynamic platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pimps, and hustlers. Rather, we are in the business of changing and revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. Again, this is your one and only platform, the distinct platform that speaks to and for the masses. We are not in the business of manufacturing players, pinks, and hustlers. Rather, we're in the business of changing and revolutionizing the thought process of our people, not only in Liberia, but even around the world. Today is Sunday, March 31st, 2024. I'm going to be your host as usual, C. Ayiti Williams. And so if you have tuned in, actually you begin to share this live with as many people as possible. As you may know, today is a very special Sunday, Easter Sunday. One may be asking, why is he out here trying to broadcast on Easter Sunday? But I think today is a pretty important day. It's a special day, special Sunday, the day that Jesus actually, after he was crucified for our sins, he resurrected. And one of the reasons why I wanted to use today's, just this Sunday, which commemorates the resurrection of Jesus. I think it's quite important because Jesus himself gave himself as a living sacrifice for Christians, I'll say, for us Christians. And I wanted to see how I can kind of align this with Liberia's current situation. We have not had the opportunity since 1822, since the country was founded, since her independence to 2024. I'm not sure if Liberia has been in a position to produce one who was able to sort of kind of give himself or give herself as a living sacrifice, and so that's why I wanted to kind of bring this to the fore today, so that just to kind of give, if not the old, but old and young alike, kind of give them a little bit of insight on how this story of Jesus Christ, how we can leverage from this, and until we can follow this format. I'm not saying that one would say that you're saying that once you literally give themselves to be that living sacrifice, so for the redemption or for the emancipation of the lives of other individuals, that's besides the point. Maybe yes, because we've seen this from time to time. I'm having some connectivity problem. I'm not even sure if this thing is recording, but hopefully the live is being recorded. But let me not get distracted, and hopefully one of our youngsters, one of our young men, maybe one young woman will be able to kind of see this broadcast and hopefully kind of get a sense of why it's important for us to understand, because I know that a lot of us, we align ourselves with a certain denomination or maybe society or tradition, but we don't take from that organization, that institution, its core value, what it stands for, what it means. If we as Christians, the fact that we're Christian, what does Christianity, what is it all about? So if you're a Christian, in the very the simplest, I'll say, form. I mean, if I was to define what Christianity is, just Christ, I am now. Just by spelling Christ, CHRIST, I am, and that's what I would say. Christ, I am now. So Jesus now gave himself, gave himself as a sacrificial lamb. Liberia has never produced one. Is Borkai able to give himself as a living sacrifice? Does Borkai have what it takes to redeem or to emancipate our people? Has Borkai has Borkai shown that he has the capacity or the capability or the willingness to die to self? I want to use for a sterling example, Marcus Garvey. I want to use for an example, Moses, a man of God. I want to use for an example, Nat Turner. I want to use for an example, Thomas Sankara. I want to use for an example, Kwame Nkrumah. I want to use for an example, Jerry Rollins. I want to use for an example. One may have some reservation with that, William R. Tarbert. I want to use for an example, Nelson Mandela. I think we have noble examples. If we have to take it from biblical context and then just bring it to a more sociological context where, we have heard, and some of us maybe have had an opportunity of experiencing, being able or may have seen, in their lifetime, one who were willing to give themselves as a living sacrifice. And it is our prayers and our hope that Liberia will one day produce an individual or individuals who will be able to give themselves as living sacrifice or sacrifices for the emancipation of our people. Because I'll be honest, our people are dying daily. And our people are dying of starvation. Our people are dying of hopelessness. Our people are dying of helplessness. Our people are dying not being able to get adequate medical treatment. Some have not even, maybe not in their lifetime, gotten any, modified medical treatment. People are living in abandoned buildings. They're going to decrepit schools. And that's a form of death. Those are forms of death, because our people are supposed to be able to live a life where they have access to life in abundance, to have liberty in abundance, so that they'll be able to reach their full potential. But here we are, from a biblical context, we have Jesus who actually came and gave himself as a living sacrifice so as to liberate us, so as to give us life, and not only life, but to give us life more abundantly. And so, the real question that I want to ask today, we have our people still living, in a country where citizens are being crucified on a daily basis. You have people being shot. You have people being deprived of the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have people being deprived of the right to employment. You have people being deprived of the right to proper, medical health care. You have people being deprived of their rights to just, access to the national cake, and so if and we have these people in leadership, and if we are from a country, a country where we claim that the country was founded on Christian principles, then we are to kind of not only, profess that we are Christians, but we have to walk the walk and not only talk the talk. What is happening to our religious institutions, our churches? Pastors they're not examples. Let alone we talk about, those who are in leadership. And that's why I wanted to ask the question. Is Borkai willing to make that sacrifice to give himself? And when I say give himself, not literally to give his life, but is Borkai willing to do so? If so, then we know that we have one who is willing to, affect change in Liberia. But I'm not sure, if we're willing, if Borkai is willing to do so. What does the restoration of Liberia requires? Who is willing to be The one who will give himself as the living sacrifice, that symbolizes their readiness to ensure that Liberia be resurrected from where, she find herself. And it's funny how we take this for granted. And until Liberia can produce one who can, just prove, and not to prove a point, but one who is selfless, one who would be willing to give all, his all, or her all, so that she can see the lives of the people being improved. And Liberia has not produced that. So the real question today is Boycott willing to do that? Does Boycott have the willpower? Is he willing to surrender himself? Is he willing to give himself? As we, celebrate this day, as we, commemorate this day that has been set aside, Easter Sunday, and the day that Jesus himself, was. He got up from the grave. The grave could not hold him captive. And so I just wanted to bring this to the fore. But I'm not saying this. And, Boycott must be true to what he says on paper. And I'm pretty sure that if Boycott began to exhibit those characteristics, as one who is willing to give himself, to be a living sacrifice, to ensure that the condition of the people are put first. And that will require him standing and looking in the face of those who he considered friends, to be truthful, to take some drastic actions, so that the conditions of the people are changed. And, you have a massive group of our people. You have only a few group of our people enjoying the national wealth, people who have access to electricity, people who have access to good drinking water, sanitary drinking water, people, who are living in buildings where they can afford for themselves, maybe some kind of generator, people who have access to their personal transportation. But you have a massive group of our people who cannot afford, a single meal. And the real question is Boycott really willing to give himself? And what that implies here is that Boycott would speak truth, and he would speak truth to power. And that's why I'm even more interested in, because I don't know if Boycott, maybe he does. Maybe he has the capacity to do so. Maybe he's capable enough of doing that. But as we can see, this Resurrection Sunday, Jesus himself gave himself as a living sacrifice. He spoke true to power. He was willing to deny self. He was willing to give himself as a living sacrifice. Again, is Boycott willing to give himself? How far is Boycott willing to go? How far is Boycott willing to go to ensure that Liberia gets the change that she deserves? Well, I understand that this is not going to happen, instantaneously, but we are asking and hoping and hopefully Boycott is able to rise up to the plate and ensure that Liberia gets that change that she deserves. But that can only happen if Boycott would speak truth to power, if Boycott would sacrifice himself, if Boycott would put his personal interests, at the back burner, and then put the interests of the people first. And Jesus did that. And because he did that, we can, now face tomorrow. We are here. And because he sacrificed himself, he gave himself on the cross of Calvary. So you are here. One would be asking the question, Ayiti, are you a pastor? Are you here to preach? No, I'm not.